Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears potentially trading away Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet is a guy I've always really liked since being on this Chicago Bears team, and now there's this talk about the 26-year-old tight end potentially being traded. Even though he's been, really good the last 3 years, last 4 years. I mean, this year was not as good for him compared to other years. He had 500 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. He did make some solid plays this year, but just was not as good as he was in 2023. 2023 he had 719 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns. In 2022, he had 544 receiving yards and 7 receiving touchdowns. 2021, he had 612 receiving yards. The Bears, if you did not know, drafted Colston Loveland from Michigan last night, 10th overall pick, 21-year-old tight end, stud from Michigan. And look, I like the pick for the Bears. I think he's a really good tight end. This year at Michigan, 600 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns in 10 games. 2023, 45 receptions, 650 receiving yards, 4 receiving touchdowns in 2023. And great blocker, physical tight end. I think this is a great addition for the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams. I think you have to be really excited. But if you're the Bears, I think you have to look at this, and you cannot make the same mistake the Las Vegas Raiders made last year's draft. The Raiders made probably one of the best draft picks that they made in last year's draft. It was an unbelievable draft pick getting Brock Bowers. And that is not the mistake that they made. The mistake they made was they had a rookie that year in 2024 season, and his name is, or maybe he was in his first or second year. I believe it was his first year. But Michael Mayer had an unbelievable rookie season. And I thought he looked like a really good tight end for this Raiders team the year before Brock Bowers joins, which was the 2023 season. I had it right at first. And, there were some trade interests that, there were some teams, potentially going out there asking about Michael, Mayer after we saw Brock Bowers get drafted by the Raiders. And the Raiders decided to keep him and have the double tight end set. And obviously Brock Bowers put on the show he put on. It was a much less productive season this year for Michael Mayer. And, there have been talks this offseason about the Raiders trading him. They've had some talks with some teams, but I don't think his value is that good to the point where you say, okay, this is a guy we should move. And I think that there was probably a lot more value that the Raiders had or could have got for him last year after the draft or during the draft after they selected Brock Bowers compared to when trading him potentially now. Like when they started thinking about trading him, when they started thinking about potentially trading him, at the start of this offseason. And if you are so confident in Colston Loveland on being the tight end of the future for the Bears, and that means Cole Kmet is going to have less of a role in this Bears team, with him already being a really good tight end and might have some value, I would just trade him now. I really like Cole Kmet, but if you draft the tight ends, it's not often tight ends go in the first round. We saw it last year with Brock Bowers. We saw 2 tight ends in the first round last night with Loveland and Tyler Warren. It takes a really, really good tight end to get drafted in the first round. I think last year was the first tight end drafted in the first round since Kyle Pitts in 2021 when we saw Bowers go in the first round last year. So tight ends do not often go in the first round. We saw 2 guys go yesterday. We saw 1 last year. If they really believe in Colston Loveland and being a really good tight end, the tight end in the future, get rid of Cole Kmet now. Before he has a less of a role next season, let's say that they decide to keep him, and his role is not as big in 2025 as it was in previous seasons, and then they say this season let's get rid of him. And maybe their only team's offering a 7th or 6th round pick. I think maybe right now there are a couple teams I believe that would potentially be willing to give up maybe a fifth and a sixth for Cole Kmet. I mean, honestly, but if he has a bad year next year, because Colston Loveland's becoming the key guy at the tight end position in Chicago next year, then he might be worth less. But another way you can look at it in this way is, is this you look at it with this Chicago Bears team, and do you think, okay, well, this guy is, we are sorry, do you look at it and say, okay, Caleb Williams we need to build around him, and if he has the better guys around him, even if Cole Kmet, if we waste the opportunity to potentially get a couple good draft picks for Cole Kmet now, like maybe they could get a 4 and a 6 for Cole Kmet, who knows? And we could get something solid now, or we could keep him on the team and have an amazing tight end duo for our second year quarterback. That's something you could look at. But if they do decide to trade him, I think there's two teams I would specifically look at. I would look at the Philadelphia Eagles with these rumors going on about Dallas Goedert. That's one team I'd look at. Another team I would look at is the New York Jets. This is a team I think would have serious interest in potentially trading for Cole Kmet. The reason I say this, Cole Kmet's best years in his 5 years are seasons, most of his seasons are with Justin Fields, but his two best seasons are with Justin Fields. 2023, he had 719 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns, 544 receiving yards, and 7 receiving touchdowns. In 2022, his best years are with Justin Fields. Keep in mind, the Jets lost Tyler Conklin to the Los Angeles Chargers this offseason. They could be looking for a tight end, and you could get Justin Fields, his former tight end. I think the Jets very well might be the favorite to land Cole Kmet, but I think there are probably other teams outside the Jets and Eagles who could be interested in Cole Kmet. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.